Yeah, yeah, Prabhuji. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Thy Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naishtuki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, Text 22. Etavan eva lokesmin Pumsham dharma parasmritaha Bhakti yogo bhagavati Tannama griyananadbhi. Etavan eva lokesmin Pumsham dharma parasmrita Bhakti yogo bhagavati Tannama griyananadbhi. एतवानेव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्मपरा स्मृतः भक्तियोगो भगवती तन्नाम गृह्णानधिभिः एतवान् एव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्मपरा स्मृता भक्तियोगो भगवती तन्नाम गृह्णानधिभिः एतवान् एव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्मपरा स्मृतः योगो भगवती तन्नाम गृह्णानधिभिः एतवान् एव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्मपरा स्मृतः भक्तियोगो भगवती नाम गृह्णादिभिः. Anyone else? Okay. एतवान् एव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्मपरा स्मृता भक्तियोगो भगवती तन्नाम गृह्णादिभिः. Okay. Transliteration. Etavan, this much. Eva, indeed. Lokesmin, in this material world. Pumsham, of the living entities. Dharmaha, the religious principles. Paraha, transcendental. Smrita, recognized. Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. Bhagavati, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not to demigods. Tat, his, Nama, of the holy name. Grahana Adibihi, beginning with chanting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Devotional service, beginning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, is the ultimate religious principle for the living entity in human society. Purport. As stated in the previous verse, Dharmam Bhagavatam, real religious principles, are Bhagavata Dharma, the principles described in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself or in Bhagavad Gita, the preliminary study of the Bhagavatam. What are those principles? The Bhagavatam says, Dharmaha projitaha kaitavotra. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are no cheating religious systems. Everything in the Bhagavatam is directly connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam further says, Savai Pumsham Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje. The supreme religion is that which teaches its followers how to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond the reach of experimental knowledge. Such a religious system begins with Tannama Grahana, chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam. After chanting the holy name of the Lord and dancing in ecstasy, one gradually sees the form of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, and the transcendental qualities of the Lord. This way, one fully understands the situation of the personality of Godhead. One can come to this understanding of the Lord, how he descends into the material world, how he takes his births, and what activities he performs. But one can know this only by executing devotional service. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Simply by devotional service, one can understand everything about the Supreme Lord. If one fortunately understands the Supreme Lord in this way, The result is takta deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, after giving up his material body, he no longer has to take birth in this material world. Instead, he returns home back to Godhead. That is the ultimate perfection. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mam upetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we see in this shloka, actually this whole chapter itself comes from the conversation where Ajamila is about to quit his body and the Yamadutas come. So actually the Vishnu Dutas come and stop Yamadutas from taking away Ajamila. The Yamadutas go and ask Yamaraja, how is it possible that we were stopped from executing this activity, what we are supposed to do? So the Yamaraj starts answering about what is Bhagavata Dharma. We say Dharma tu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. As said here, Bhagavata Dharma is that which is prescribed by Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Naiti Mam Eti So Arjuna Mam Upetya Punarjanmaha. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Rama, when they come, they are actually embodiment of Dharma himself. It is not, as we say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Namna Makari Bauda Nija Sarva Shaktihi Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. All my glories are invested in my holy name. So that is why the first process in purification is actually smaram, remembering. Remembering Bhagavan is the first thing. Chanting Harinam Sankirtanam, because that causes Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Only from there we can get out this body of material conception. Even Yamaraj is saying devotional service always begins with chanting of the holy names of the Lord, which is prescribed in this Kali Yuga. Similarly, even Krishna has told Arjuna that one who meditates upon me, remembers my holy name, does devotional service. That is called Bhagavata Dharma. And Bhagavata Dharma means also executing devotional service. Smaranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, chanting is one aspect. Doing devotional service, coming to the temple, chanting his names, dancing, seeing Sri Krishna here in the temple, it is also devotional service. Then comes Bhagavata Dharma, serving other Bhagavatas, indirectly or directly means, is very important actually speaking. So we can see that how even in the shloka which Krishna explains about the Bhagavad Gita, right? After attaining me, the yogis never return to this temporary universe. This is what even Yamaraj actually explains to his Yamadutas, that if you look at all the devatas who are present above us, also there is someone who is the supreme controller. So we cannot understand what Ajamila, as we know, in all his life he executed Brahmanically, he was living. Due to some aspect of desire, he decided to go away from this. But his prayashchittam actually, the answer is actually when Yamarajas, the Yamadutas came to take him and Vishnudutas stopped him. It is not like Ajamila just went right away from there to back to Bhagavan Krishna's abode. He actually, it is said that he went to Haridwar. He did prayashchittam. So prayashchittam means understanding one's fault, one's deficiencies. In Kali Yuga, we know that there is social media which is present. If we do good, we want to publicize about ourselves by saying we did this and that. But real humility means if we did something wrong, we should actually publicize about it. That is real prayashchittam. I mean, nothing wrong, we do publicity about good activities we do, that is great. But is anyone going to come out, if we see not on the spiritual side of things, but even material world, is anyone going to humility come and say, I did this bad? No one is going to come and post it publicly. So that is actually real prayashchittam. That is called real humility. If you see any public social media post, Instagram, anywhere else, no one says I did this bad. Because they will be under problem. Of course, there is something which is right and not right. But even our own, this is a self-infliction. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Looking inside the mirror and chanting Sri Krishna's name, purification means understanding that we have done wrong and then also accepting it we have done wrong. Okay. So understanding itself takes, that is why we say that chanting Krishna's name is purification. If one is covered in Maya and illusion, he cannot understand his fault. He has to be either shown the path. But chanting Krishna's name is self-purificatory. That is why it is said that by chanting Krishna's name, he can purify it, seeing his deity form. Having prasadam is a way. But that is why it is said that Krishna says that the yogi never returns to this material universe. So if we look at all these qualities, as in the purport Srila Prabhupada has written, that actually that all the Nam, Maham, Nikhar, the transcendental pastimes of the Sri Krishna, what are those qualities to understand actually if we look at it, right? So Sri Krishna's qualities are unlimited. The ocean, we can say the material universe is actually limited in our perception. But the causal ocean actually in the spiritual universe is unlimited. So similarly, Sri Krishna's qualities are unlimited actually. So the way the qualities are described is Swabhika, Anavadhika, Shriya, Jnana, Bala, Vaishwarya, Virya, Shakti, Teja, Saushilya, Vatsalya, Mardava, Arjava, Sauhridya, Samya, Karunya, Madhurya, Gambhirya, Audarya, Chaturya, Sthairya, Dhirya, Shaurya, Parakrama, Satyakama, Satyasankalpaha, Kritatvata, Kritagnata, Adya Sankhyeya, Kalyana, Gunagunanu, Maharnava. So actually if you see that when we want to surrender to Sri Krishna, there are qualities which you are attracted to. They may be in a very simple aspect, but beyond the 6 gunams, we say Aishwaryasya, Jnanam, Balam, Aishwaryam, Viryam, Shakti, Tejas, they reveal is Paravatmam is actually one which is unmatched actually. So what are the other actually qualities of Sri Krishna which are present? Saushilyam, Vatsalyam, Mardavam, Arjavam, Sauhridyam, Samyam, Karunyam, Madhuryam, Gambhiryam, Chaturyam, Sthiryam. So if we look at one of them, what is Shilam or Saushilyam? It is basically where a superior person actually has the natural quality of moving freely with inferiors. So if we look at Sri Krishna, he is after all, he is Bhagavan, Sri is Param Paramatma. He is residing in everyone. The whole universe list. We had, we see the Damodara Leela where Krishna was there, where he opens his mouth and Mother Yashoda sees his whole universe. Every universe is seen within his mouth. But if you see, Sri Krishna is moving freely, even as a child, as a Gopa, with all his covered boys. He never differentiates amongst everyone. Whether he is son of Nanda Maharaj, he has got thousands of cows. Not all the Gopas along with him are as opulent. But he never actually differentiates. If we see the pastime of Sudama, Sudama had nothing. Actually, if we see. So it so happened, right, that Sudama was a great friend of Sri Krishna at that time in growing age. And what happened that Sudama was so poor, he never wanted a friendship out of material benefit. So it so happened that his wife, they recently had a child. So Sudama's wife said, you have your friend Sri Krishna in Dwaraka, why don't you go ask something from him? Sudama said, no, I will not go. Actually, if you want me to go visit him, I will visit, but I will not go to ask him anything actually. So Sri Krishna is sitting in Dwaraka, and when he is eating, a tear flows of his eye. So Rukmani asks to Sri Krishna, what happened? Why is that you are feeling this way? She sensed immediately. She said that, well, my friend Sudama is suffering. He is not coming. He is not asking anything. What am I supposed to do? Rukmani says to Sri Krishna that, well, if you want in a snap, anything can happen. He said that is correct, but till he comes and asks or approaches, I cannot do anything. So what does it tell actually from one of the this Leela also? This is a very deep Leela, but Bhagavan is present here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also said, Nam Nam Akari Bauda Nija Sarva Shaktihi. The question is, what do we desire from him? He is present now also everywhere. We chant, Narsimha, one of the Narsimha mantrams, Bahe Narsimo, Hridayar Narsimo. Yeah, Narsimha Dev is present inside us. But you can't expect him to come for the sake of material benefit. Only when we really want surrender, then he will come actually. So, it so happens then Rukmani says, he will never come and ask. Okay, we will do a trick. So, he goes and basically says, as a mendicant, he goes to do Bhakti Bhikshandehi. So, Krishna goes to Sudama in front of his home, he asks his wife. He goes to his wife because he knows Sudama will not do anything. So, he goes to his wife and he says, well, she basically says that, see the humility of Sudama's wife also. People think that she is materialist. Actually, she is not. So, as a sage, Krishna goes and he asks Bhavati Bhikshandehi. Then what she says is, I want some Bhiksha. She says to him that, well, this is the Asaucham period where someone has passed in our family and all that stuff. So we cannot give anything. Generally at that time you are not supposed to give any dhanam. So if she said she had no money and all, that is again because she had something. So this is a very tactful way of saying, no, I cannot give anything. So, but then she realizes, okay, at least you know what, she feels so bad. See, we cannot even give to someone who has come to ask Bhavati Bhikshan Devi, why don't you at least go and visit him? So he says, okay, I cannot go empty handed to see Krishna. So what she does is, the rice husks which is there, not even the full rice, that which is actually husked off, that basically he takes along in his pouch. So he goes to Dwaraka. So when he goes to Dwaraka, there Sri Krishna is there. The Dwaraka, he says to Dwaraka, Arey, tell Sri Krishna Sudama is here. Dwaraka gets surprised. Arey, who is this taking? Sri Krishna is a big Raja. Brahma and Shiva come with respect. Other devatas come with respect to bow down to him. And this person is taking Sri Krishna's name just like a, chalo mera dost, he is my just friend. Whenever I grew up, of course he is. So immediately Sri Krishna hears about this. Dwarakala goes and tells. Immediately Krishna drops everything from his throne. He jumps and comes. Dwarakalaga understands how fortunate this person must be so close. So the Saushiliam is actually where you can see that Krishna just jumps actually and comes immediately to meet him. He didn't worry, oh, he's a king, I need protocol, right? So this is say that Sri Krishna does not got fear in the heart of devotees on Bhagavatas actually. Actually even doesn't even cause fear even when Ravana was there. There may be dvesham and everything, there may be a different kind of fear. But actually even in any form, in any avataram, we may think it is fearful, it is not. It is actually always sattva gunam. Even Narsimha Bhagavan, when he incarnated from the pillar, it is only filled with sattvam actually. That is the beauty of every avataram of Sri Krishna and the Vishnu Tattvas. No matter whichever form he comes, actually there is always sattvam only. So we can see how Krishna welcomes Sudama, and there is no, that is the Saushiliam. It is not that he sees, because if someone thinks one is inferior, you cannot lift him up actually. So the Leela so goes that, of course, that Sri Krishna invites Sudama and they take him to Rukmani's palace actually. They wash his feet and everything. Sudama is very fearful. With his pouch like this, he has hidden that husk. He doesn't know what to do, whether to give or not even to give, because he sees this whole palace which is gem adorned, every servant they are washing. What this rice husk which is all dried, what to give? But Krishna takes and eats that. So we can see how it is there. Another example, there are so many, countless examples actually. So we can see when Sri Rama was there and he visited Sabari's ashrama. Sabari was a old Bhagavata lady, but she was one of the topmost devotees. So what did she do? She picked up those berries, fruits, and it's not that she got a wonderful plate, she had anything like that. Out of bhavam she offered. What does Saushilya mean? Saushilya means actually that bhavam is understood. One practical example you can say is when a child gives something to the mother or father, it is of bhavam, the parent accepts it. That is where the Saushilyam comes with Vatsalyam actually. One of the qualities we say Bhagwan is there. There may be different forms of leelas and relationships we may have at Sakya, Madhurya and everything. But there is an overarching aspect of Vatsalyam feature of Sri Krishna which is present. That is where it is coming from. So Saushilyam is one of them. So obviously we can see that Rama accepts the berries which have been tasted by her and offering. He didn't think that she is inferior. In fact, if you look at all of Ramayana itself, that all the Vanaras and monkeys, it is not that if we think in today's world, what do we think that as humans we are superior to every animal? That is a material universe. Rama never thought inferior that, oh, Hanuman or Vanaras are lesser to me. He gave importance to them to even build the bridge. So we can see that how he actually moves along with them. So this is the even as king, son of Dasharatha, he says Atmana Manusham Manye. That when Brahma also saluted him, actually he just mingled with all the Vanaras like that. So this is the Vatsalyam quality comes. There is a way how each quality of Bhagavan also every yudha, what do you say, Sanskrit word, the paraphernalia of Bhagavan also actually emanates each quality of his actually. Just as we say Sudarshana Shankara, the conch, the paduka, the bow, the arrow, the sword, everything of Bhagavan's clothes, they also emanate the quality because they are they are non-different. So Vatsalyam actually is the quality is to find good even in evil. Actually, this is where Sri Krishna's, we say that Bhagavata Dharma is like that. Why? Because we use Vajamila's pastime or even here, what does Rama say when Vibhishana comes, when he surrenders to Sri Rama? He says, even if Ravana comes now, I will forgive him. That is the quality of Vatsalyam, is to find the good even in evil, even amongst extreme blemishes. Sri Krishna can find that. We cannot because we are in material universe. Our senses are covered. Only when we are completely out of this mode of material nature, then the best example is if you go to a cow farm, we have seen people have gone to the Krishna Balram village or any cow. What does the cow do? The cow actually, if you look at its calf, the calf is newborn. It is born, it falls on the ground. All the mud is there. It is not like a baby of a, okay, some cows may have the fortune of being formed, but if you look at the cow which is born in the forest or somewhere else, it falls on the ground. It is covered with mud. What does the cow mother do? It licks the calf in spite of the dirt. So Vatsalyam is actually the quality of Sri Krishna to find the beauty in his children, in his Jivatma, in spite of us covered. So the example practically is our Jivatma soul is pure. This body which is material is like the mud. So Krishna can actually see all this and he can lick it. That is why we say Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nida Sarva Shaktihi. So by chanting that, hence, and also another thing is patience. Actually, Vatsalyam also comes with patience. I will just use examples in reality. If you ask any mother and father, they obviously need to have patience with the child. Without patience to the child will never, like for example, the child does mischief, it walks, it falls, they still try to wake it, bring it up, make it, help it walk. Same way actually, Sri Krishna, or in every avataram, he tries to uplift. That's why we say, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam. So hence, patient is actually the word, patience is a quality of Sri Krishna or Bhagavan, is not, cannot be separated from Vatsalyam actually. It is actually it is part and parcel. So this gunam of Sri Krishna helps him to look away from the doshams of the Jivatma or Prapanna we say, or Bhagavatas who have surrendered to him. Of course, nothing can escape from Sri Krishna's vision. Everything in the universe which is moving, everything is seen from him. He acts as though he doesn't see, but actually he sees everything. I mean, just for example, we see Kamsa wanted to do what he want, but Akasha said, yes, whatever is going to happen is seen. So similarly, that is why it is said that even as those who follow Sanatana Dharma, why we say, Prithvi te Antariksham means the proof is always there. The sky, the Antariksham is always watching us every single time. Why it is said that when we do devotional service and when we are, those people who are not doing correct acts, they think that no one is watching. Actually, the universe is watching. But this Vatsalyam Gunam, anyway, going back to how, as we say the example of the mother cow licking the calf, or even Sri Krishna trying to forgive. Look at in Damodara Leela, right? We see that the Nalakuvaras were there, they were there as trees. Now, even in that form as baby, you can see the Vatsalyam Gunam is actually the maturum, patience. And why the patience? He could have performed this Leela immediately the day he was born also. But he also gives patience to the Prapannas or Jivatma to have enough maturity to understand. Why is that? The question sometimes gets asked is, Sri Krishna is here, he is all pervading, he is all omniscient. Why? Because it is another example is, if the child is there with the mother, the child may understand the love of the mother and father. But sometimes due to its own ignorance, it doesn't realize how much love the mother and father gives, right, in spite of being strict. So till that realization comes, we will never realize the importance. Same way, Sri Krishna also waits. That is why it is said that Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in 930, right, that even when a person worships him and seeks him as a refuge, then other thing is Mardava is one of the qualities, is the feeling of loss of separation from his devotees actually, which they are not when they are not present with him actually. So it also means that, why is this? Because the Mardva Gunam means the Lord will not make him utter harsh words. We never see in any place that harsh words are attended. Yes, to speak the truth is not harsh, that is different. But you will never say that Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Rama, or in any Vishnu Tattva, he speaks harsh words actually. Harsh words are spoken by other people. Shishupala spoke harsh words, Ravana will speak harsh words, all other people will speak harsh words to even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his pastime or to his devotees. So this is an example of us that, and why this comes is because it's a sorrow of being separated. He cannot bear the separation. So the definition of Mardva, of one of the qualities of Sri Krishna is Ashritya Viraha Shamataya Supraveshatvam. So it's the inability to be separated from us. So we know that Sri Krishna is never separated from us actually. As Paramatma only is inside us. It is we who decide to be separated from him actually. So again, this is one of the wonderful qualities actually we can see. Then Sauhridam, always seeking welfare of his devotees. So he's intent on doing good to them without expecting anything in return. So what did Sudama do? He gave that rice husk. All he wanted was his love. That is all Sri Krishna wants. He wants only love. He doesn't require anything. So see the love. So after Sudama comes, immediately he gives. So Sudama gives everything, gives to him, and then Krishna says, "Okay, you know, you have come to my place. All your clothes are torn like this and everything. We'll at least make sure you at least wear something good." So they give him all nice princely clothes and everything. After everything, of course, there, thanks to, because of feeding Sri Krishna, his whole palace, his original house has transformed into a big mahal only. Now see the love of Sri Krishna, Sauhridam. So he says, obviously Sudama came walking. It's not like he came on a chariot, right? It is not like he had security like a king. So Sudama is obviously about to go back, but he is all decked in this. So Sri Krishna tells him, you know, you do one thing. If you go like this again, you will get robbed. So you change back into, you take whatever you have, you put it in your bag, and you change back into your normal clothes. Now, see the feeling how Sudama feels. Krishna knows everything he can protect. But Sudama feels in his heart how loving my friend Sri Krishna is for me. He cares for me that if I go, I will get robbed. I cannot have asked for a better friend than him. Sudama thinks in his heart. So we can see that the bhavam Sri Krishna has actually shown. See, and it is not out of expectation of return. He truly cares for the welfare of his devotees. This is called Sauhridam. So Sushobhanam Hridayam Yasya Suhridad. He reveals this Sauhridam Gunam, actually, that we say that in Bhagavad Gita, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Santi Murchati. So this is the shloka. We can see how does he do. One of the so many pastimes, Sri Krishna for the Pandavas when he was living, how has he not? He has always been there to care for him, actually. So we can see how this quality of Sauhridam is one of the other aspects which we are drawn to, and why Bhagavan Sri Krishna or in any of his Vishnu Tattva avataram is present. So Sudama feels so happy. There is nothing more I wanted from this trip. I saw Sri Krishna, I fed him something, I came back. Doesn't matter all these clothes. He cares for me that I should not even get harmed when I'm going back. That is a feeling of love. That loving exchange is what actually Sri Krishna wants. And this loving exchange can only be, it cannot be artificially. Maybe for kids who are here, you all see cartoons and other things, right? Maybe, you cannot artificially create that feeling in that opposite person. Only by acts of service, acts of devotional service, can only that loving feeling be created from within. This is the reason why we say that Bhagwan can have the whole Sri Krishna is there, the whole universe is there. By a snap of a finger, he can take everything. But it will become actually out of business. What he wants not devotionals are out of business. Initially, we may ask everything, which is nothing wrong, because he is the supreme controller. Through him or his associates who are controlling different things, we may ask other things. But the end, when you get it, is to actually surrender it to him. Samyam. Samyam is a quality of Sri Krishna or Bhagavan that we says that he doesn't make differentiation on account of birth, conduct, character. And again, we see whether it's Haridas Thakura, we see Sabari, we see the Vanaras, we see Sudama, we see many Bhagavatas who are present. He doesn't differentiate. Why? Because one who has everything, it doesn't need to differentiate about other people. In material universe, we differentiate because we look up, if someone doesn't have something, we should have this, or vice versa. We will say, how much is this better than that? But for Krishna, he has everything. So one who has everything never thinks he wants something else. He wants only love, actually. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita he says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. So this is another way of saying. So that is why we see these qualities are actually very pleasing to devotees. And these qualities actually are the one which are exemplified in each and every Leela of Sri Krishna, actually. Karunyam. Karunyam is removing the calamities and grievances of those who seek protection but without expecting anything in return. Karunyam, yes, Sri Krishna is there. He actually is there to protect all of us. He is even protecting right now. But the real protection is actually meaning removing calamities without expecting anything in return. Prahlada was there. He prayed to, Sri Vishnu, saying he is present everywhere. Prahlada didn't want the kingdom. He didn't say my father should be harmed. He didn't say anything like this. All he wanted was, I want darshanam of my Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That's all he wanted. He was only chanting Narayana's name. And Narayana he was chanting. And of course, Hiranyakashipu asks where you are. Even at the time he says everywhere. It is not that Prahlada was asking, I have to see. So again, today's shloka will say that devotional service is chanting. Prahlada is not an ordinary Bhagavata, right? He is a Sresth Uttama Bhagavata. By chanting Narayana's name only, he can feel the presence of Bhagavan. So, Karunyam actually, true Karunyam happens when Bhagavan wants to remove the calamities, but when we don't expect anything in return. Same thing I can relate to this Sudama's pastime. Sudama did not want anything. His wife, naturally, obviously, child is born, has to take care. But Sudama said, no, I only want to visit Sri Krishna without expecting anything. That is the true Karunyam. So, the explanation is Sarutapeksha Paradukha Asahishsuta. It means he cannot stand, Sri Krishna cannot actually stand to see the sorrow of all his Bhagavatas. He does not think he should stay away from redressing. Of course, now people may question naturally, if sorrows are there, how? There is again prarabdha karma there is sanchita karma there. And why the karma comes is because only by that karma when one can realize that we are basically suffering and we need that surrender. And surrender is eventually to go back to him, to his abode, without expectation of return, actually. Because as I said many times before, we can ask everything we want, we can ask any will, whatever we want, but in the end we have to quit our body and go. So, Sri Krishna does not think that, oh, we should stay away, not help people in their sorrows or whatever is there. So, this gunam is actually called Karunyam. It says, Karunya Anodhishtha Swa Prayojantara Paradukha Nirakarana Ichha. He does not see any prayojanam for itself, but he sees sorrow. What does it mean? So when Sri Krishna was there, he killed Tranatvara, he killed all these demons, everything, Bakasura came. He didn't see prayojanam for him, but he doesn't want to see sorrow for his gopas which are playing with him. For him it doesn't matter. He can go into the mouth of the snake, he can go anywhere where he wants to, he can dance on the Kaliya, right? But he doesn't want to have any sorrow for his Bhagavatas. So this we see one of the qualities of Karunyam. Karunyam means Bhagavan Sri Krishna will remove, or any avataram we see, he removes the sorrows. But when we don't expect anything in return. Now this is a very contradictory thing. How is it possible? There may be things we may ask and aspire, nothing wrong in that because we live in a material universe. But the aspect of that is, you have removed the fear for me. You have given this karunyam to protect me. Now, once I have got it, I surrender to you. Yes, over time we may face difficulties. And why the prarabdha karma will come and sanchita karma may also happen. That is why we say that as Bhagavata, it is very important. One cannot, even Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, that one cannot live without doing any karma. Even by breathing we do karma. But what is important is to reduce the footprint of inappropriate karma. That is the right way to think. So by doing, because good karma cannot cancel bad karma. That is a very understanding people should understand. Yes, can it help in some way? Yes. But that which is there cannot be nullified directly. We are born somewhere, we have some, some problem that is going to happen. Some of it may reduce, some may not. So, that's why we say that this Saushilyam, Sauhridam, Karunyam, these are wonderful qualities of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, or in Avatarams he has shown that why that we want to surrender to him. So, I will stop today's class because these qualities can be talked and examples can be given. So, These are only 6 I explained. So if any comments or questions, people are free to ask or comment. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Give a mic.
In the discussion of Daksha and Narada Muni, they both had arguments. Narada Muni convinced Daksha there's nothing to do, the material world's got nothing for you, just take sannyas and go back to Godhead. And then Daksha is saying that no, you need to go through the different ashrams, you have to experience life. You can't go back to Godhead unless you go and do all these Vedic rituals and samskaras. And so they both had they're both great personalities, full of knowledge, with diametrically opposing views. So is one of them right and the other one wrong, or are they both right?
They both are right.
I see.
They both are right, because Daksha is not an ordinary personality. People think that Daksha is some ordinary person who just came, he said something about Lord Shiva, he said got chopped by, all his associate and all. We are not even at level of Daksha first. We have no qualification. We may have some material degree and all, but Daksha is not an ordinary person. Now, why is it not contradictory? Is because, yes, what Narada Muni is said is correct. Devotional service and going back to his Sri Krishna's abode is the right thing. But not everyone can just snap off a finger and solve the bond of karma like this. For example, why even when Lord Rama came and Lord Sri Krishna came, he also went to his teacher's home, he did Gurukula, right? So, why? Because for all of us, we are born with karma. The karma is not in one birth. It is countless millions of births. So, one has to go through the... I think I want to say something which is very nice in this purport actually. And this will answer that actually. It says, these principles are not cheating principles. I mean, just not what your question, but to answer your question, right? Devotional service or Bhagavata Dharma is not about cheating principle that we do something, we pray something, we did something and everything is gone. No, it is actually to understand Prayashchitam. So, what Daksha is also saying is actually speaking that one has to go through, whether it is ashramams or karma or what we have to do, we have to go through the process. One cannot, for example, if we say, Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktihi, yes, Narada Muni is correct, one doesn't need to go through this. But if we go outside to someone, we say, please chant, whether we distribute books or preach, or so many people say, the holy name power is there, but will he take right away? He will not. Answer to that is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvidha bhajante mam. One who has distress, one who is in search of knowledge. So one cannot circumvent it. Yes, the Vaishnava comes or the Bhagavata comes or Sri Krishna comes and will deliver the message to him to help him, to uplift him. But then there has to be self-introspection, self-realization. I mean, Prabhupada has written the book Science of Self-Realization. The title itself should understand that the self-realization has to come. So, people cannot, so many classes Prabhupada has given and other acharyas have given that if people feel this material universe is the be-all and end-all, how will he know? So, there is a nice example given. Some people, I read a class somewhere was given and said, oh, all these people are those who are very spiritually advanced. I won't say not everyone, sometimes some people go through karma, but those people are very materially opulent who may not be living a very sattvic or a Vedic way of life, or we say a pious way of life. They are experiencing all these opulences and everything. Well, they are getting all the benefit of what they are doing right way or some wrong way, but eventually that karma will come back. So Daksha's way of explaining is to go through Varnashrama, Varnashrama or whatever is the process, One cannot circumvent that actually. Now everyone's karma is different. Some person may be born, he may be born to become a sannyasi in this life. Nothing wrong. Some person has to go to Grahastha ashrama. That is that individual's karma. So the message between Daksha and Narada is never, actually it is not contradictory at all, Prabhuji. But it's a wonderful point you made, that it is not just there, because even Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, he says last is Sarva Dharma Parityakya Mamekam Saranam Vraja, right? He tells that. But he didn't say, Arjuna, okay. Now he says, now do what you want. He doesn't say, okay, now go back into the battlefield and leave everything and become sannyasi and do that. Arjuna never became that. So the practical example for that is, Yat karosi adasnasi ajhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kauntedva tat kuruso mother. Whatever we do as an offering. So whatever one's karma is, part is, that realization, it doesn't matter one is a student, one is a grahastha, one is married, one has a family life. Do it as a service to Krishna, surrender to him. So then eventually, whether one is a grahastha also, one is in a renounced state of life, actually speaking. So they are never actually, and it's a wonderful point, because many people actually think Daksha is some villain. Actually he's not. He's actually a very learned personality. So thank you for asking that, Prabhuji. Any other comment or people want to share?
I was appreciating your point about Sudama's wife. That it could be looked at like she's a materialist. From what I understand is Sudama's wife was just for care for her husband. She just wanted to see him okay, She didn't even care about the horrible, or the tough situation that she was in, She could only think about, my husband, to do his devotional service. You need some things and we don't have it. So I was really appreciating that point that Sudama's wife is not a materialist. And so I guess I could ask a question in that sense. How do we understand somebody who can look like a materialist or look like a spirit? Like we can see through this example that there's more than beyond what we see. So how does somebody know somebody's state of being a devotee or how spiritually inclined they are or how spiritually advanced they are?
Actually, wonderful question. Actually, just to say about the wife, maybe another class I will tell. Actually, it's a wonderful thing actually that in Ramayana, this aspect of, I'll just say that point now, the service mode of Sudama's wife, and of course there are many exemplified, spouses of characters. The true understanding of a wife, that's why they say dharma pati or dharma patni. So Sudama's wife is a true dharma patni, where her well-being of her husband is also to uphold the dharma actually. That is how it is. Now, and another class I can give where how in Ramayana also actually this aspect is explained of the mood of service of not saying actually in any shastra or anything, and in Vedic Sanatana Dharma, the significance of woman is always given the first actually preference. It says Matru Devo Bhava first, then Pitru Devo Bhava. So mother is always given the first. Contrary to, this is Kali Yuga, so there is corruption of everything or blemishes, but actually the significance of woman is the highest. So without woman is very difficult. Without a mother, there is no father. So no child is born in the material universe. So mother is always given the highest significance. To answer your question, Prabhuji, see, we do not the luxury to judge. It is not our right to judge general people we see. There are two aspects of it. Sometimes when we interact with someone personally, that's a different question of, knowing what they are. But we are under no circumstance. Actually, it is not even right to judge someone on how devoted they are, because we don't have the quality at all. Paramatma knows, Sri Krishna knows how one is devoted. For example, we are living, today here. There are who are Bhagavatas, just to say, who may be in other pious places like Vrindavana or other places, who are living a very meager life, who are doing cow service, go seva, right? I'm not saying one or the other, or there are people here also, right? How can we judge what their bhavam or devotion is to Sri Krishna? We cannot. A spiritual master is a different question. A guru may understand certain things of how to guide, but if we are not at the level of Uttam Adhikari, then we cannot judge all this. And it is not our right. Actually, that is not beneficial also to judge, actually speaking. Because yes, sometimes we may interact with people in a normal world where we may have to understand aspects of certain thing. But it should be left to that. If we continue more and more to judge and it will affect our consciousness, we commit aparadham actually. Because the moment we judge, that's why it is said from a Uttam Adhikari perspective, a spiritual master may look at his disciple to understand, to only uplift him, not to put him down. If we start judging, our aspect is, are we judging him to help him or to put him down? If our interest is to help, I won't say even spiritual world, whether in the material universe also, let's say you're working somewhere, right? Of course, don't want to combine any material examples, that if you want to help someone, we say, okay, hey, we are seeing this, we are telling you to help you, but if the other person is not receptive, then you cannot do anything. So really, each one's bhavam, relationship with Sri Krishna, what devotional service they do. Like for example, many times, okay, in here we don't see any, USA is different. In India, if you go, there are security guards which are present, right, to stand in the temple, right? We may come and work and we may go. That security guard is employed only in the temple to protect the temple, right? You may say he may get a salary. He's not living a very material, opulent life. But look at his service. He's dedicated his life only to do that, na? How can we judge that we are better than him just because we chant, we go somewhere, we do some preaching? So, of course, just to say, Prabhuji, it's a wonderful question. We should not judge and we should not think, actually. The way to think is, Vidya Vinaya Sampane means that the other way to think is, so fortunate that there is a Bhagavata, they are present, they are also doing. How can we help to lift him up? That is a better way to think. That is a positive way, actually. Sometimes, yes, I understand there may be some circumstances to judge, because whether it is an aspect of person's service or character, that's a different question. But that comes under the norm of proper dharma. But to go looking, saying, this person is this way, this person is that way, who are we? And just to say, just one point I'll say, that generally I see this, that I take darshan of many temples, and also, in Pandharpur Vithala, they keep darshan, they allow everyone to touch the deity there, right? The watchman comes there, he comes his feet, after the start of his service, he goes and he touches the feet of the deity and he goes. What you can tell? We are here, we are sitting here, we are giving here, we are roaming in a car. What do we have to tell him? His life is far more pious. His life is dedicated to think of Vithoba. So anyway, sorry Puji, go ahead. I just want.
I was thinking about the nectar instruction, verse 5. And I was thinking, it popped up in my head, that we offer mentally our respects to those who are chanting. We pay our dandavats to those who are second initiated and doing service to the deities, and then we serve the Uttama Adhikari, right? And we don't have to judge, because we're giving the kind of like the understanding of it doesn't say this person's chanting Hare Krishna, but then you saw him drink some coffee, therefore you shouldn't mentally right? We start making those judgments. And so I was really appreciating your point of your answer, alongside, our instructions by our acharyas is that no, we're not meant to judge. They give us the guidelines, and we follow through those, right? We don't need to judge. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, just to share this actually, you want to say something or no? So this is a nice pastime I heard somewhere. So this Eknath Maharaj, once he goes somewhere to, Himalayas, and basically he goes and gets Ganges water to pour onto Rameshwaram Shivalingam. He goes there. He's got the Ganges water. Okay, saved all the way. Nowadays people go by train, car, flight, everything. Those days he had to walk. So he took that Ganges water. He caught it. When he's coming close to Rameshwaram to pour to Shivalingam, there is a donkey which is dying out of thirst. Dying out of thirst. What should he do? He has got all the way this Ganges water from there, and he is there. What he does, he takes the Ganges water and he feeds it to the donkey to save it from dying from thirst. So everyone around him laughed. What is this here? I mean, he got Ganges water from there, and in the end he gave it to the donkey to, dying from thirst. Immediately when he fed the donkey from water to die from thirst, Lord Shiva appeared in front of him. So he said, I was testing your devotion. So this pastime, I mean, since you asked this, it just came to me that is why we should not judge. We don't know who is there. Bhagavan is present as Paramatma. He may act someone to do something. So this Leela reveals that how that he realized. Yeah. We say Bhagavan is present in every Paramatma and Jivatma. So better not to judge. Yes, sometimes I understand in material universe we have to be cautious and judge. Yeah, we can't say go put your hand in a crocodile's mouth. It will bite you only. That is your common sense. But what I am saying is, yeah, so this is a wonderful pastime. We see that how his devotion was tested. So anyway, so thank you for asking. So I will end today's class. Please everyone have prasadam. So Vrindraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.